A quirk of sapient life in the galaxy is that it likes to talk. The problem is, it likes to speak with itself. Why talk to the stars when you can have a conversation at home? Interstellar travel is not difficult. You simply aim a stream of exotic particles at the envelope encasing the universe, then use it to punch a hole through to the other side. Of course, there isn't really an envelope encasing the universe is, and anything outside of it isn't the envelope is simply the stuff that is directly before the isn't. Tricky, but the physics works if you squint hard enough. The other side of the envelope is nothing special. In fact, it is nothing. No laws of physics, no laws of science, pure nothing. Which is convenient when you want to do things like break the laws of physics and exceed the speed of light. Without the laws of physics, distance means little. A point here is also a point there. Once in the nothing, an object is adjacent to everywhere back in the universe. It is then a matter of child's play to send an object or a signal into the nothing and send it back to the universe at a different point. The trick is choosing where to aim. There's a whole lot of bugger all in the universe. So why bother? This is well known by the 3 sapient species of the Milky Way. The HBB, floating in their brine baths, use the nothing to search for new water worlds to inhabit. They are driven by shame. Their life cycle is divided into 2, the early phase where they rely on simple sentience to survive, and the later phase, when the male and female join to form a sapient whole. The early life cycle is brutal and animalistic, and they prefer to hide that aspect of themselves off-world. In contrast, the booty men revel in their predatory instincts and use the nothing to search for new hunting grounds. There is plenty of sentient life in the galaxy that offers fantastic prey, but never sapient. The third and final race, Thadwin-Glick, use the nothing for more prosaic needs, reducing communication latency. They have no interest in leaving their world, the one aspect unifying these 3 races in their love of connection. Cultural survival requires communication, and passing ideas down the generations is the foundation of lasting civilization. Put simply, they love to talk. The 3 races know of each other, or rather, they knew something else was in the nothing. How could they not? No sapient race opening a hole into the nothing manages it first try. All make mistakes. The most common is using too few exotic particles. Instead of punching a hole, the envelope surrounding the universe will simply bulge outward, might as well be sticking out a hand and waving. Even once the process is mastered, an object placed into the nothing is everywhere at once. Any satellites, spacecraft, and probes entering the nothing exist on top of each other. Hard to hide when you're touching everything else. They saw each other and they touched each other. This did not go down well. Unfortunately, they could not recognize each other as sapiens, and could not understand what was going on. There was a flaw in their respective biologies. All 3 species use nonverbal communication. And not just that, communication was unconscious. An individual did not compose a thought in their own private universe, and then decide to communicate said idea. Instead, all thought was communicated. All individuals knew the thoughts of others without asking. The techniques differ. The HBB rely on visual clues and color changes in their skin, the booty man on smells and pheromones, and the Thadwin-Glick on telepathy. Well, not true telepathy. They have extremely sensitive organic electrical detectors. They can feel thought through the formation of electrical patterns. This had a profound consequence. They could not empathize with each other. AHBB could not see the chemical communication of the bootyman, and a bootyman could not smell the electrical patterns of a Thadwin-Glick. They were blind to one another. After much confusion and misunderstanding, the 3 races came to an uneasy understanding, one they did not know they had reached. It was the HBB seeking to filter out unwanted interference in the nothing, the other races, that identified the 3 sources. They installed refractive isolators at each entry point and segregated the nothing into 3 zones. Unintentionally, they isolated the 3 species and solved the issue. No race had acknowledged another's existence. This worked well enough until the 4th sapient species arrived. Homo sapiens took a different evolutionary path. Of course, they gave themselves a name that roughly translates to the biggest smarty pants on the planet, but then again, all the species did. Homo sapiens also liked to talk. Nothing unusual there, but they spoke with everything. Left to their own devices, they would talk with sapient life, sentient life, non-sentient life, inanimate objects, rocks, and even the universe itself. Can you imagine trying to talk to the universe? It doesn't even have ears. They formed strong emotional bonds with life outside its own species. The life even reciprocated it. This left them with an unexpected advantage. Whilst they could not image what alien life might look like, they fully expected it to be weird, wonderful, and difficult to talk to. Once they discovered the nothing, they were quick to exploit it, sending message after message, probe after probe until they understood its secrets. This disturbed the HBB. There was a new interference to filter out after all. The HBB weren't quick enough. Homo sapiens made the connection that the others could not. There were other sapiens in the universe. They did what the others could not. They tried to speak with the aliens.